Humans have a hunger for hidden or secretive discoveries and find satiation when questions are answered. The knowledge humans crave about the unknown is what keeps scientists and researchers asking questions humans thrive to know. Books, films, even entire genres of entertainment have been dedicated to the tempting sensation of finding a once-hidden secret in the middle of a sprawling jungle. We are continually amazed at the new discoveries made by scientists and researchers across the globe. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we'll be taking a look at 3 jungle discoveries. Orang Mawas cryptid. A cryptid is a term given to a creature or being who is largely mythological and has not been proven to exist by the scientific community. However, several creatures once given the cryptid name have turned out to be not as fictitious as first believed. For example, the coelacanth and the okapi were once cryptids and have now been scientifically acknowledged to exist. The Orang Mawas cryptid of the jungle of Johor in Malaysia is another example of a being that was thought to be the stuff of legends, but there have been so many reported sightings that entire web groups have sprung up dedicated to proving its existence. This creature is rumoured to be a hominid about 10 feet tall, walking on 2 legs and covered in black fur. The locals of the jungle, the Orang Asli people, call the Orang Mawas Hantu Jarang Gigi, which means snaggletooth ghost, and they have many legends which tell of the creature being sighted feeding on fish and raiding orchards. Although sightings of the Orang Mawas have been reported regularly as far back as 1871, with legend and myth dating the sightings back even further, many believe that it is not a cryptid at all, but merely a surviving relative of the Gigantopithecus, which was an enormous ancient ape. Still, others dismiss the sightings entirely and claim that it is simply a sun bear, a black bear that feeds on fruit and is native to the area, being mistaken for something more sinister. Verified sightings of the Orang Mawas have occurred since the 1950s, with a highly publicised sighting occurring as recently as 2005 that gave a large amount of credence to believers in the cryptid species. 3 local workers clearing land all reported seeing 3 Orang Mawas, 2 adults and a child, walking along the river together, as though they were a family. Upon later investigation, along the riverbank were large humanoid footprints up to 1.5 feet long, where the Mawas family had supposedly been sighted. The momentum of the mystery surrounding the creatures truly took off several months later at the beginning of 2006, when a local Malaysian newspaper published photographs of a fresh tar footprint that was believed to be from the Orang Mawas. Later that same month, Johor authorities announced that they would be sending an official government expedition to try to prove the existence of the Mawas, and in doing so, became the first country to have an officially sanctioned hunt for a mysterious hominid. Some reports from the expedition claimed that they found and captured an Orang Mawas later that same year, but the official report denied it. Orang Mawas fanatics believe that sightings of the creature are becoming more common as humans carve into the jungle and destroy its home, and it is forced to expose itself to humans, meaning that it is only a matter of time before its existence is proven once and for all, while others simply believe the sightings are misidentified apes and orangutans. Only time will tell whether this mysterious cryptid is truly out there in the jungles of Malaysia, and for now, the search continues. The Yowie. The Yowie, or more commonly referred to as the Australian Bigfoot, is a large beast that stands on 2 legs roughly 7 to 12 feet tall, and has the general appearance of that of a large ape-like creature. Sightings of this beast have persisted for eons since the time of the Aborigines and their ancient mythological folklore. What is all the more startling about this urban legend is that even to this day, many Australians claim to have encountered the Yowie, and many others have started their own research groups looking into the logistics and evidence of these mythological beasts. Ancient Aboriginal myths created the Yowie as being beasts from the time before man, and that the Yowie were the original inhabitants of the Australian continent, but were completely driven out of their native lands by men that came there to settle. Interestingly, this could very well be possible evidence of the Homo sapiens driving out Neanderthals, a species similar to that of humans and were believed to share an ancient common ancestor, but later went extinct roughly 35,000 years ago under mysterious causes. Going down the Yowie rabbit hole leads to further startling theories surrounding their existence. From Australian government officials covering up further evidence to Yowies being involved in many of the extraterrestrial and unidentified flying object sightings all around Australia. There are even subgroups of the Yowie community that defend the idea that Yowie might be an alien species visiting the Earth and that the Bigfoot monsters and variations could all be this extraterrestrial species. The Yowie creature is commonly encountered in Queensland, Australia, with many of the eyewitnesses saying that this creature is unlike anything they've seen before. One woman claimed that she saw one outside of her house and that when she went out to investigate afterwards, a bad odour was left in the air. She didn't manage to take any photographs as the encounter lasted only for a few minutes. However, she describes the creature as looking like a tall humanoid that had a thick layer of hair. Although the Yowie creature is said to just live in Australia, others have suggested that the Yowie and Bigfoot creature are actually the same. The mysterious Yowies are still being reported by the general public to this day. Civilizations that used to live within the Amazon. Since the 16th century, we have held the warped belief that the Amazon rainforest was largely untouched and entirely natural. It was a common assumption that prior to the Spanish invasions, only small groups of nomadic people lived intermittently along the Amazon riverbanks and estuary. Though new research suggests otherwise, revealing vast interconnected villages near the Amazon. Areas of the Amazon that previously could not be explored have been made accessible due to the development of satellite imagery. This allows for even the densest areas of the forest to be explored, letting archaeologists search for the ancient geoglyphs that indicate the presence of civilizations. Geoglyphs are art pieces formed through the moving of the landscape, such as arrangements of stones. The team, funded in part by National Geographic, had a set of 24 coordinates they considered leads, all of which proved to be positive. One in particular, however, proved to be incredibly useful, leading scientists to ceramics and charcoal, which testing indicated comes from 1410 CE. Trends also seem to show that the geoglyphs are most likely to be found in places on high elevation, such as the hills within the Amazon. This new research shows that the civilizations had settled in a wider space than we thought, as people lived further than the riverside, with settlements spanning over 1,100 miles. Another conclusion drawn from this study is that the population densities predicted through computer modelling were higher than thought previously. It was thought, prior to this research, that 2 million lived in the Amazon rainforest. But now we know 500,000 to 1 million live within only 7% of the Amazon basin. A previous idea was that after the European conquests, those who lived in the forest had passed away due to diseases and genocide. Primary author of the research project, Jose Iriarte, archaeologist from the University of Exeter, said in relation to this, "We need to re-evaluate the history of the Amazon." Other information we know surrounding the history of the civilizations living in the Amazon is fairly limited. The Inca Empire was at its height of productivity and growth when the Spanish, French, Dutch, and English invasions began to occur. Inca's societies were based in Cusco, Peru, and these small societal groups and communities stretched into the Amazon lowlands. The assumption that the rainforest was untouched and the ignoring of these groups stems from the European invasions of early modern Europe. The diseases brought over by these new groups led to rapid loss of lives, effectively erasing the appearance of the hard work and lifestyle of these indigenous groups, as the rainforest appeared uninhabited to newcomers. With the European conquests, many indigenous people became victims in forced labour camps, eventually resulting in the tragedy of enslavement and genocides of these remarkable groups of people. But what do you make of these jungle discoveries? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below and help us by growing this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.